This article is in some ways the granddaddy of them all when it comes to evidence for a young Earth, because it's from Barnes's original work on the decay of the magnetic field of the Earth. He noted that from detailed observations over a century, that the magnetic field seemed to decrease by about 4 or 5% a century. And there seems to be evidence from 1000 AD that the magnetic field of the Earth was 40% stronger than it is today. And if you extrapolate backwards, it would mean that the magnetic field of the Earth could only be maximum 10 to 15,000 years, otherwise it just becomes impossibly strong. Now, objections to this were that we could explain the magnetic field as a dynamo effect of the rotation of the Earth and various forces taking place in the core. And a bit like the dynamo in a bicycle rack, it would keep going as the energy from the rotating wheels creates the power needed to generate the light. So the idea would be that the rotation of the Earth would generate the power needed to have a magnetic field. However, there's no workable model as yet that would support that theory, and the evidence doesn't seem to go that direction. And therefore, the original hypothesis of Barnes is still valid. Another objection to Barnes was that there was definite evidence in geology of reversals where the North Pole and the South Pole swap round. And these magnetic reversals seem to indicate that whatever was going on, it didn't seem to fit Barnes's sort of steady exponential decay. However, in closer inspection, it looks like these reversals may in fact be a feature of the flood week, or flood year I should say, that they were rapid. There was some geology that suggests that the reversals took place in a matter of days, and it would be a feature of the rapid subduction of plates going into the mantle. And Russell Humphreys has produced work on this. And Russell Humphreys is interesting because it was Russell Humphreys who, as a cosmologist, who proposed that the magnetic fields of Neptune and Uranus would be actually much greater than NASA had predicted, because his view was that these were magnetic fields like the Earth that came from creation week, and that they would be much higher than the model that NASA was proposing, which was based on billions of years. Well, when the relative spacecraft passed those two planets, what happened was that the magnetic field actually fitted very well Russell's prediction and not at all NASA's. And so Russell Humphreys does have real credibility in this area. And this particular article, though produced in 1998, has addendums to it, which should bring it up to date with a more detailed look at skeptics' arguments. But the basic premise is that the magnetic field would suggest that we live in a young Earth. And when you take into account the incredible fluctuations created by the worldwide flood, that would account for some of the anomalies. And so if you have a young Earth, then obviously the Bible is true, because the Bible says the Earth is young. The Bible also talks about a worldwide flood. And a young Earth would almost certainly require a creator. And the only credible creator that we have in world literature is that of the Bible and of the God of the Bible. And I think the most reasonable conclusion is, given the evidence that we are seeing accumulated along on many, many different fronts, which is the whole point of this website, is the cumulative effect of the evidence of modern miracles, the evidence of fulfilled prophecy, the evidence of the magnetic fields decaying, the evidence of geology, the evidence of incredible design that's decaying rapidly. All these lines of evidence come to the one conclusion, that the God of the Bible is true, and what we really need to be is getting right with God. And that's the most important thing any human being can do. As Jesus said, what does it profit a person if they gain the whole world, but they lose their soul? And so this is just, as an article, one more example, I think a powerful example of evidence for a recent creation. Well, thank you for listening.